Last week, fathers all had their turn hosting, but tonight, Daddy's home. Welcome to episode 70 of Rebels Without a Pod. I'm just going to steamroll right over any response. Just Eric shaking his head.
Look,
Andy
this is
somehow sitting even farther away from his camera. The show that dares ask the question, how do I introduce an episode like this? Once the thought arrives, it stays. It sticks. It lingers. It dominates. There's not much I can do about it, trust me. It doesn't go away. It's there whether I like it or not. It's there when I eat, when I go to bed. It's there when I sleep. It's there when I wake up. It's always there, always. I haven't been thinking about it for long. The idea is new, but it feels old at the same time. When did it start? What if this thought wasn't conceived by me, but planted in my mind, pre-developed? Is a spoken idea unoriginal? You can say anything, you can do anything, but you cannot fake a podcast.
I thought you were going to say orgasm. Really, all the way till the very end.
Points.
Hey,
a second daddy has joined the chat.
Yeah. Well, I think he was refraining from saying anything to you. Like he turned off his mic. Him and Andy turned off their mics. Like, crap, we can't interrupt him. We can't interrupt him. Let it go.
It's too important.
If you like rewind it and listen again, I'm probably sitting there saying like, dude, another fucking poem.
Yeah, he's doing the poem again. I told him not to do that.
Right.
I missed the first one, but
that was as historically important as like Kennedy's Ich bin ein Berliner speech.
I knew Eric was going to get fucking furious when I read that poem. That was 40%. Let's do something a little different in culture than 60%. Eric's gonna be grinding his fucking.
You would not look me in the eye while you were reading that, by the way. You did not look up once. You knew what my reaction would be. So, I mean, kudos for understanding your fellow podcasters.
Right. Oh, we've all known each other a long time. My name is John, and joining me tonight, Andy, who is studying quantum physics at the local university.
Nice.
Good energy there.
Yeah, that was a throwback.
Only our most dedicated listeners will understand that reference.
Yeah,
most rebellious rebels.
Let's not call them the Reb Army. Whatever we do,
probably a good idea.
We are.
Naveen waving silently from the farmhouse window.
Say nothing.
For our listeners there, I'm waving. Yeah.
And Pod Daddy Eric, who's about to have a slice of his favorite chocolate cake.
Nice.
A Yule log?
A Yule log for my friends.
Good. Today, we're continuing our top of the queue movie cycle. A simple concept: we watch and discuss 4 films that have been sitting forever on our streaming queues. Let's get right into the movie discussion, gentlemen. Tonight was my movie pick. The original idea that I had for this theme was we do the Ballad of Buster Scruggs by Joel and Ethan Coen. Actually, the last film they made together before going their separate ways. But you guys, you looked me in the eyes, in the true 90s teens that you are. You just shook your heads and you went, "No, we don't want no Scruggs."
Oh,
so here we are.
Here we go.
And he's getting farther away and smaller.
Well, because there's absolutely no record of my vote on this one, I would say that I was right in saying we should have done the Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
No Scruggs.
Wow. I will say this. When you did make that joke, I saw Andy looking at what his rating was going to be for this film, and it actually just went up half a point. So
okay.
It's true.
that could mean everything or nothing. Like
Yep.
Andy, when are we going to get like more like letterbox reviews from you?
I will. So, I mean, I will do this one
Oh,
once I give my general impression. After that, time will tell.
time will tell. So my pick for tonight was this has been something that's sitting on my Netflix queue for a very long time. This is I'm Thinking of Ending Things, 2020 surrealist psychological film written and directed by Charlie Kaufman. This is the director who did favorite films of mine from like the late 90s, early 2000s, Eternal Sunshine on the Spotless Mind, Adaptation, being John Malkovich, a director that I really loved but kind of not checked in on for a really long time. In the interim, I think Eternal Sunshine was 21 years ago, a number I don't really care for that much myself. But in the meantime, he's gotten 4 more movies made. I think this, Orion in the Dark, Schenectady, New York, and Anomalisa, I think were the 4 features he's put out. Also, like extremely sort of prolific as a writer, producer, like all the rest of that. This is definitely in kind of a style, his sort of oeuvre. But what I wanted to kind of like talk to you guys like a little bit before we kind of get into the film itself is generally we haven't done a really kind of ton of just kind of avant-garde, experimental, sort of weird kind of like type movies like this necessarily. So I wanted to like talk to you guys how you sort of feel about that style of film. Is something that you like? Is something that you don't have time for? Are there versions of this kind of movie you've seen recently that you've really kind of enjoyed or not enjoyed?
So I watched something recently. It was a little indie film that actually had some pretty deep, like big name actors in it, like people that everybody would know. It was about this guy who was a hockey player and decided to go into professional golf. It's called Happy Gilmore 2.
Ooh.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, it was kind of an art house flick, but it was pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
3.5 stars on Letterboxd, if I remember your 2.5.
Yes.
You rated it the same as Buster Keaton's Sherlock Jr.
Yes, that's correct. That is correct. No, I guess in seriousness, I don't watch a lot of movies like this. I'll be honest. They're not typically my thing. There's none in recent memory that I can even recall. Maybe what was the one? Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Sure.
Ooh, great film.
That might be the most recent one of this of like.
I would say like pretty good like analog to this. Kind of complicated. Sort of kind of just they mess with sort of temporal things. The story.
Yeah.
Bounces back and forth a lot.
Yeah, but so that's the most recent film I can think of, kind of in a similar vein, if you want to call it that, to this one. But like, I think the closest thing like recently that I've watched that kind of fits that vibe is actually Severance. The show,
sure.
not the movie. Or I don't actually.
The Adam Scott sort of dystopian sci-fi show that's on Apple TV right now. Highly recommended by everybody who I've known and watches it has reached out to me and be like, this would be exactly.
It's great. Yeah. It's a great TV show.
I'm still watching season 1, so I'm well behind. I can't honestly say that I'm like quote unquote enjoying it, because I don't think it's the kind of show that you enjoy. You kind of just like stick with it and see what happens next. It's constantly having me like think, what the hell's going on?
Right.
The fact that I'm still watching it, I think says something. I don't know.
Andy, were you a fan of Lost back in the day?
Yeah, I liked. I would say I liked 2/3 of Lost.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe something like that. I watched the whole series. I can't say that I loved all of it, but on the whole, yeah, it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I was going to say, best part about Lost is when they started airing reruns to catch you up with like the later seasons. They would do like a I'm trying to think of that show where it's like you watch music videos and they just have these pop-up
video.
Yeah, like pop-up video where while you were watching the old episodes, they would just have like these pop-up facts to point out all the little different things that you just don't pick up on, like the details in the background. kind of like giving you an idea, like even in the first season, of what they're going to attempt to do at the very end of the show. So
that would have made it actually kind of maybe more enjoyable to watch.
Lots of like light and dark imagery and some biblical stuff.
There's so much stuff in that show.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, I guess that's my take.
No. Naveen, how about yourself?
A similar vein as Andy. I don't recall anything recently. I did enjoy, like you mentioned, Eternal Sunshine adaptation when they came out. I was actually looking up online as well. Some people mentioned maybe like Donnie Darko as being in a similar kind of vein as this. But I don't know. I can't think of anything that I've watched recently. And like I said, I enjoyed those movies when I was younger. And I don't know if my tastes have changed and my thought process. I know I've probably gotten dumber, so I can't understand those movies, like
we're all several years past our life expectancies at this point.
So
no surprise there.
It's like one of those things, like where they used to be like, yeah, I want to go see that. It's like thought-provoking. It's something like this. And now it's just like, I'm just not in that mindset as much anymore.
Got it. It's you can also say, we'll get into it a bit, but I think that adaptation, Eternal Sunshine, Malkovich especially, those are considerably more kind of not traditional movies, but they have a bit more of a clear story and narrative than I think like the movie we're talking about.
A little more digestible, yeah.
Sure. Papa, how about yourself?
Yeah, I'm the same. I used to love these kind of movies. The ones you mentioned, of course, by Charlie Kaufman and the movies he's been involved in. I've loved all those, and I used to seek out his movies, kind of like when Wes Anderson, every time he put something out, I'm like, I got to watch this.
He was a full filmography guy for you. You just got to see everything he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was probably because adaptation was the first experience I had watching one of his films. And then I watched everything else, and Eternal Sunshine just kind of solidified it for me. It was just such a moving film, and just something in it resonated with me. I'm just like, I love this. If I could find more like this, it'd be great. And those kind of movies, they had them for a while in the early 2000s, and I feel like it kind of like died out or went away. They're not usually big money-making things. That's why I don't think you see as many of them. Even
a lot of these kinds of things come through A24, but the A24 ones, I think they had, there's a bit of a house style where I like a lot of the A24 things kind of feel maybe like a little bit the same as similar. I mean, for every Hereditary, every Midsommar, everything everywhere, there's a lot of other stuff that's just is not, I think, just inaccessible and pretentious, but inaccessible and pretentious in kind of the same way. Like at that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think the last one that I saw, which I was kind of like, I'm going to take a break from these. I think it was called Her. Do you remember this film?
Oh, sure. This is, I think that's, it's Joaquin Phoenix falls in, like an AI that's kind of like
AI type. Yeah.
Some kind of heard about that one, but never saw it. So,
and it was one of those ones where I watched it and I'm just like, again, I don't think it was helmed. Maybe that was like a Michel Gondry film or something. I don't think it was helmed by like a great writer for the script.
Right. So
it just kind of fell apart. Really weird dialogue and choices in the film. And I think after that, I just kind of stayed away from them. But and that's the thing with this movie, I'm thinking of ending things right away. I love the title. I'll say that. So it kind of, fits that kind of niche thing that I've been looking for maybe for a while. But I think maybe it just kind of, it's past its time for me. I liked it when I was younger, and nowadays it's a little tough.
It's an interesting thing you guys bring up that I didn't really even consider for myself, but there is somewhat more of an appetite when you're in your late teens and when you're 20s, this kind of thing. You start getting, I want to be into, you're doing the college thing and you're kind of getting older, and part of you is just kind of like, yeah, I'm more curious about more arty stuff, more kind of experimental or kind of like avant-garde stuff. There's a thing of like, this will sort of plug me into some degree of like adult sophistication, I guess.
Exactly. I was going to say too, like after college, especially for music, my musical tastes changed. I think up through college, I was still listening to like Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and any of those bands. That's really big into Nirvana too. And I remember when the box set came out in the early 2000s, I was so stoked for it. But then after that, I'm like, I want to find more indie stuff, more like underground stuff that people don't know about. And maybe that's, you know, just veering away from the things that everybody likes and finding something that's different and special that nobody knows about, that
Absolutely. Yeah.
maybe brings yourself some kind of feeling of being special. I don't know.
I'll sort of just kind of mention sort of really kind of quickly for me. I take a run at these kind of films every once in a while, but I just through kind of personal experience, or at least kind of what I know about myself, kind of being in my 40s and watching these kinds of things. And again, sort of very like astutely put, like as opposed to your 20s, you're maybe, I think, a little more accepting of the possibility of something being like, well, this is weird and complicated, but maybe it's okay that I don't get it, or this is kind of bizarre, but I in kind of just like I said, kind of just trying to broaden my horizons. This is an okay to kind of spend. So this is an okay thing to spend like a little bit of like time with, because even if it's kind of bizarre and ultimately kind of like unsuccessful for me, this is nutritional. This is kind of like horizon broadening. The distinction I find as an adult is that these kind of movies, they're very, very specific styles of this kind of thing that I really, really like. But anything just kind of outside of that sort of particular niche, just kind of, I like everybody I think here has been saying, I just don't find myself having like that much like patience for it. So
what about I want to ask, I know I saw these books on your bookshelf, so you've probably read them a dozen or so times, but Kurt Vonnegut.
Kurt Vonnegut,
what's your feelings on him now versus how you felt maybe like in college or just after college?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. We actually at my work book club, we read a Vonnegut book that kind of came in between his two greats. This book called God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really kind of considered like the best of Vonnegut's books, but I think even if I had kind of visited this thing in college, it really wouldn't have landed for me. But it's just, these things can be for you at a certain point in your life, and they can be profound at a certain point of your life. And it's okay that kind of art doesn't engender like the same thing. Like I think as like you actually get older, this Vonnegut book in particular just kind of wasn't his best to begin with. And I just kind of kept thinking to myself, it's saying a lot of just sort of broad, happy, obvious stuff. I think may have resonated with me when I was kind of like 20, 21, but just it's just as a 45-year-old trying to read this, it just didn't strike me as like being that sophisticated.
Yeah, same here. Sirens of Titan. I remember getting that book and I started reading it. And I'm like, this is kind of complicated. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't really feel like this book is for me. I remember sticking with it, getting all the way through the end, and I just loved it. And I actually was like weeping at the end.
Sure, it was amazing. I read in college as well. Amazing reading.
Very emotional roller coaster kind of thing where you just shocked where it starts and where it ends.
Yeah.
And I remember I reread this a few years back, and it just didn't hit as hard for me. I just got caught up on a lot of different things. I'm like, it feels kind of dated. Yeah. I don't feel like the characters really like
a little obvious, a little cliched, like a little bit like
And that's the thing when you're younger, especially with these films. I get scared when we watch some of the films that I used to love growing up again for the pod, because I'm like, how's this gonna turn out? I mean, Frankenhooker. I was like, I'm fucked for Frankenhooker. That's like that's like big dick energy, bringing Frankenhooker to like a podcast, and then it turns out being shit, and then you're like, all my credit's gone. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, it was a good one.
Yeah. I love that.
So certain things, or Orgasmo, I never had any doubts, but it was still that was a real pleasure to be like, this is making me laugh just as hard as it made me laugh like back in 1999.
I was thinking like, oh, this is like if I showed people that never grew up watching like Old School or something like that. I'm like, oh man, this scene with Andy Dick teaching like the
sex toy class or something.
I'm like, oh god, let's see how this goes.
Great actor. What happened to that guy? Well, So let's get into the movie itself. I'm thinking of ending things based on a 2016 novel by Ian Reid. Stars Jesse Plemons, Jesse Buckley, Toni Collette, David Thewlis, and Guy Boyd. Synopsis in brief: taking a new girlfriend on the farm. My dude, this is just how it goes. Not even that awkward, all things. Just, I could tell tales.
Yeah.
It was released in select theaters. The Wikipedia page claims August of 2020, which not the biggest movie-going month for a couple
Or
different
year.
reasons. Primarily like the novel coronavirus pandemic, but
Yeah.
and then came out on Netflix like the following month. So like 2020 is just
Oh,
generally
wow.
it's an extremely weird year for kind of cinema. You look at like the top 10 movies that came out that year. Like number one is Tenet, and then next nine are just movies you just never heard of at all. Very very strange. On Rotten Tomatoes, 82% of 262 critic reviews are positive, with the site consensus reading aided by stellar performances from Buckley and Plemons. I'm thinking of ending things finds writer-director Charlie Kaufman grappling with the human condition as only he can. General impressions. I feel like I should lead with this one because it's this is really kind of like a my bullshit movie.
This is on you, so
this is on me. So I'm just going to put my thing out. I love this one.
Of course you do.
Of course I love this one. This is right outside my top 10. It's kind of sitting there at number 11. But the thing I was just saying like a little bit earlier, for these things to work for me, they have to kind of be my bullshit. And this movie is very, very much my bullshit.
I checked my notes, and mine actually say bullshit too. So a couple times.
So we can kind of circle around.
We're aligned, yeah.
This is one I kind of want to sort of put out first, but people who had other takes on the thing, you're not really going to hear too much argument from me. But Joe, impressions. Who wants to kick off?
I just want to say I knew you would like this because you hated Jojo Siwa. Not just
No,
Oh no!
Look, that
Perfect.
little woman is just trying to figure out her own life. I
Look,
kind of only know her deal from
I
like the
just
SNL
don't know what her
characters
deal
that
is.
Simon does.
I just want to know if she'll leave the Big Brother house with me.
Okay.
Yeah, just like Andy on audio and video production. Oh, I'm
Nice.
you gotta send me that. We gotta put some bloopers.
Yeah, you hated Jojo Rabbit, so I knew you were going to take this for you.
Should we call that bloopers episode 69?
I mean,
Bitch.
Yeah.
Eric cocked his head like a little bit. He's like, I don't want to give him a laugh. I don't want to.
yeah, I'm half behind that. All right, I'll kick it off.
Yeah. So you go. Jojo Siwa aside, what'd you think?
Jojo Siwa aside, I really wanted to like this film. Honestly, the problem that I ran into and the biggest flaw of the film is it is so dialogue heavy that while I was still trying to digest what the characters were saying, I failed to have enough time to keep up with what was going on, like with all the shit with, characters appearing, disappearing, getting old, being young, pictures changing in front of your eyes, dogs appearing that just keep shaking to get themselves dry and nonstop.
Plain doors, then doors that all of a sudden have signs that said dad's room, parentheses after mom died, like all like the different stuff that's on the shelf.
Could you read those?
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah.
I couldn't read those. I was like,
So, I mean, here's another interpretation I had of the film. Again, you brought up it's avant-garde, it's experimental. I felt like this movie was like a well-seasoned actor's wet dream, right? So you have Jesse Plemons, who's been in a ton of stuff, who's married to Kirsten Dunst, by the way, which
That's
still
correct.
just
really?
fucking mind.
They played a couple together in the second season of Fargo and ended up kind of dating because of that.
Married in like 2022, which is
they've been together.
fairly recent. He also lost all that weight too from fasting, so
yeah,
looks completely different.
Ozempic.
Oh, is that big? Yeah. But like the reason I say it's like a well-seasoned actor's wet dream is because it's kind of like these are those like avant-garde kind of off-Broadway plays that you might do where like on a good night you get like 10 people showing up. And they just give you all this weird, dialogue bullshit, things that are complicated, maybe not for your general like patron, but maybe to stroke the writer's ego or something like that. But you get to do something that's different, that's not like a mainstream film. It's something that's unique, and it's kind of like if you're a band and you play at giant venues all the time, like you're Aerosmith or something, and you miss practicing and playing for small shows in like a garage or something.
Foo Fighters, like at some point this week, is going to be playing Toad's Place in New Haven.
That's cool.
Already did.
They already did.
Oh,
Already did.
It was like the next day. You had to get the tickets that day, and the next day.
Got it.
But yeah, I honestly, while I say I didn't like it per se, there are a lot of things I did like about it. I like how they keep hitting home that growing old sucks, because for people our age, growing old sucks. I love the glitches in memory between the characters. Like they keep retconning things that like Jake or Lucy or the parents say, which is fantastic. And just like overall, like I like a lot of like the decisions that were made. Like they're driving along in the car, and then all of a sudden it's like Lucy turns over and she's like, "Hey, did you see that swing set? It looks like brand new in front of this old decrepit house that nobody lives in." And then Jake's trying to justify it. So you're thinking like, who's the main character here? It seems like Lucy, because she kicked off this film where she's like, I'm thinking of ending things, and it keeps coming back to that. But then you start questioning so much when it's jumping between people and the things people say, which is kind of like lead you in all these different directions. Like, am I crazy? Like, what's going on?
Right. So, big picture question about the movie itself. Did everybody by the end clock what was actually happening, just in terms of like the overall like general plot? Did everybody kind of piece that together?
I would say that I probably clocked about like the overarching idea of kind of who was who and all of that. I didn't quite put together until I had finished it and then spent some time sitting with it and actually did some kind of research and everything that the Lucy character was sort of like an amalgamation of a number of different women that he had interacted with throughout his life, not just a single woman that he had been pining after forever. There were some parts that I didn't quite put together, but for the most part, yeah, I would say I got there in the end. Okay.
Naveen, Eric, how about you guys?
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. I really don't know if I got there or not. I have my thoughts on it, but again,
how much of the film did you watch, by the way?
What's that?
What's the movie again?
Naveen was like, I'm thinking of pausing things.
My mind was everywhere all at once.
I just finished it about an hour ago, so hard to piece things together. I'm still kind of working on that.
Got it.
There were things that kind of like, there were clues throughout that kind of pieced it together. So by the end, you kind of figure out what happened. It's funny, Andy, that you say it's kind of like an amalgamation of women that he's met over time. I still remember Lucy saying one thing where it was just like, she's like she pretty much comes forward and says like, yeah, this was some guy. I went to a bar to like meet a friend or something, and some creep was looking at me.
Right.
And I kind of wished I had a boyfriend.
There's a half dozen different versions.
Yeah, and so that was the last one that sat with me, because I'm like, I feel like none of this really happened. It was all something that he made up in his head, and that it was pretty much based off some girl that he just happened to notice at a bar that he maybe regretted never saying hi to her or introducing himself or buying her a drink. And so it just kind of sat with him like my life could have changed if I had done that one thing differently.
Right.
And then I think it just keeps coming back to that over and over. When you're a janitor, seeing all these like high school kids and knowing like
they're young, healthy people with their whole lives ahead of them.
Yeah. And you'll probably, he thinks about all the things that he wanted to do and never wasn't able to accomplish. I feel like too, maybe he was like, he was in the drama club himself or something, and he did, because the fact he knows all these like Broadway plays really well. He was probably part of that crew, and then he put on, he's part of a couple plays in high school, and then just never amounted to anything after you graduate, because I mean, you don't always get to choose your life.
So I think like my read on it is it just in we're going to be, I think, like completely spoiling the film from here on out. The real character is the elderly high school janitor, who I think is Jake. Most of what you're seeing in the film is sort of is Jake's memories, kind of in a memory palace, if you will. The mom, the dad, Lucy represent kind of characters from his past, but can sort of represent just kind of versions or reflections of the same thing. And what this elderly high school janitor is going through is either, as the dad kind of stated about the midpoint of the film, he's either dealing with dementia, Alzheimer's, or Louis' body dysfunction, I believe it. And his mind is starting to go, his memory is starting to go, and he's having suicidal ideation. I think what the majority of what's happening in the movie is him looking back at his past. The reason that the reason that Lucy, who's not even credited as Lucy in the movie, she's just credited as the young woman. The reason her name keeps changing, the reason her major keeps changing, the reason her dress keeps changing, like kind of scene to scene, the reason that her story about, oh, we met at a bar and it was very cute. We met at a bar and it was like a little bit awkward. We met at a bar and he was just kind of a weirdo. I kind of read that as a romantic thing that happened to him like a long time ago that really left an impression on him. But because of like the distance that he's had between it and like the fact that his mind is starting to fall apart, like the specifics of those details are kind of starting to slip from him.
All right, tell me this. Did you write down the quote about time when they were talking about time and how time works?
I
feel like I should have, because it was something to do with like...
Vamp, I'm going to get my notebook.
Get it. And he's gone, folks. Was he ever here?
We don't know.
I don't know. I feel like Johnny's like an amalgamation of people I met in college that I just really try to avoid and not keep lasting friendships with. And he's back.
Naveen, keep all of this in.
Okay. Okay. We're stationary and time passes through us, blowing like a cold wind.
Yes.
Yes.
And then when
I always have that thought at weddings. It's weird.
Yeah.
Very much my bullshit movie.
I was gonna say when she said that, I was like, okay, she's transitory. Like she's not part of like his past or anything. She's just kind of something floating along, maybe, or maybe even it's him just kind of saying it to himself. We're all just kind of floating around, passing around time, and it just we have no control over it.
Right. So who has Naveen? Did you do general impressions yet?
No, I have not.
Okay. So you finished the movie an hour ago.
Yeah.
Still mulling it over.
You're awake.
Yeah. I had a little trouble there being awake. My synopsis in brief.
Shoot.
What the hell is that?
It did put me in the mood for ice cream.
It did. Yeah.
It's just too sweet though.
Tulsi Town. That's never too sweet.
Tulsi Town.
Yeah. I couldn't quite put my head around it. It was interesting, and my thought at the end there was just that Louisa, I don't know, Yvonne, whatever her name was, young woman, was kind of like the main character, and she just ended up ending things in that parking lot there. And
there may be a little bit of analog to her and Joy from the Inside Out movies. She's not really kind of the core personality, but she's kind of she's like sort of represents the audience like a little bit as a character, kind of exploring what's happening like inside like this dying guy's head.
Right. Yeah. So, it was just interesting. Like it started to make sense. It's called I'm Thinking of Ending Things. It starts with her dialoguing about it. They're on their way to the parents' house, and once they got to the parents' house, things took a little twist and got interesting. And
because at the parents' house, that's the first time things are just like aggressively weird. Like there's some bizarre editing and camera angles with like the conversation in the car itself, but again, into the house, parents aren't there for a little bit. They're very, very weird when they come downstairs, and all of a sudden they're elderly, and then they're young again. A lot of the stuff they're saying is not saying making sense. At one point, one is gone. At one point, like another one's on their deathbed.
Yeah, then one's on the deathbed, but the other one is young at the same time. So it just got a little interesting. So it's kind of, I guess I wasn't quite in the mindset of to be really thinking about what was going on. So it was a little tough one for me to kind of get through.
Right. Bit of tough hang.
Yeah.
What do you guys think Charlie Kaufman was kind of trying to say generally with this particular film? Why make this when you're like a talented writer who just kind of write anything that he wanted to?
This feels like a Charlie Kaufman film. Like he talked about, I read online, he read the book, he enjoyed the book. It was like a first time novel written by this guy. And I feel it's just right up his alley. It's something that he would do. And that was the one thing that bothered me about this movie. I'm like, this has the possibility to be something really good.
Right.
Like this was good. It was fine. But I feel like if you had introduced a different director, maybe somebody that could, spruce up the visuals or help with some of these like shifts between different conflicting memories and stuff. And then you had a nice handy dandy editor to be able to step in to say, Mr. Kaufman, let's make some cuts here, or change some things around. I feel like they could have picked up the pacing and it would have been as great as like Eternal Sunshine.
It's a little bit formless in like the sense it kind of comes through. And like this is actually like a criticism. I read a couple places about Jojo Rabbit where they're like, Taika wrote it and directed it and starred in it. For at least like the people that didn't enjoy like the movie that much, like that's a thing I hear said for something as kind of bizarre and complicated and as difficult for that, you kind of need a second voice to be able to kind of make these things. Kaufman's best movies have been like in the past kind of collaborations with Spike Jonze, rather than something he's kind of written and directed himself. So it's kind of one of these things that like, he may be one of these intensely creative people that is so creative and has so many different ideas that he kind of needs a secondary voice, an editorial voice to protect himself against maybe like some of his worst instincts.
Yeah. I looked up online. So Kaufman is 64 years old, which I can't even imagine. But think about it. You're hitting your 60s.
So he's in an age where, he's just kind of reflecting at this point.
Exactly. I'm like, he's like, getting old sucks. Memories are fluid. They keep changing as you get older. You also have a lot of different regrets, maybe for choices that you should have made. And maybe, just thinking about how they could have changed your life just weighs down on you a bit.
Sure.
You get a lot of time to think when you get older.
So Andy brought up an interesting point that I wanted to put to like Naveen and Eric, but Andy said that just from his own thinking and like a little bit of reading on it, that the Lucy character was possibly like an amalgamation of several different women. My personal read on it, and I didn't kind of dive into to what Kaufman has said like in interviews the same way, but I kind of read Lucy's character is like he is this guy probably spent most of his life alone. The way that Plevin sort of depicts him is that this guy is like, he's a little bit weird. He's really awkward. He's kind of childish and temperamental in certain respects. I kind of read Lucy's character as this guy when he was young had a relationship with a woman that only lasted for about a couple months, kind of petered out right after she came out to like meet his parents, and he's kind of been dwelling on that one relationship, kind of like that one memory, like ever since then. But to Eric and Naveen, which do you have any kind of like an inclination? Do you think this is just one girl? Do you think this might be like a combination, like a few different memories and experiences for this guy?
I would. That's a good thought, and it didn't come to my mind, obviously, but I would probably say it's more or less what you were probably saying, Johnny. Like it was one relationship that he's dwelling on and didn't go well. And then, those things happen. If something happened at the end, you often hear that, at least in movies and things, the woman's like, oh yeah, he was always so sweet. I was a waitress and did there, but then something happens when they break up. He's like, oh, this creepy guy, I should have known from the start, and how the story changes there. I would say more of the amalgamation probably came when got to Tulsi Town, and then there was the girls. There was a couple girls that were like, oh, fawning over him, and then there was the one that was like standoffish.
So kind of aware situationally of what was going on,
right?
The twin girls also who work at the Tulsi Town ice cream booth, you actually also see in the high school hallway at the beginning. For whatever.
Okay, those are the ones at the beginning, because I know they're at the end as well when they're clapping and they're all old.
Yeah.
So it could be a little bit of both, but I would lean towards your explanation of Lucy, Louisa, Lucita, young woman.
Right.
It's funny because when you first mentioned that, and then you brought up like Naveen, like talking about how maybe this was a bad relationship and she was a waitress and, he did something stupid and, then he decided to bring her to his parents' place to, because he's moving so fast. Who does that in like a month of actually meeting a
particularly
girl?
the farm, the farm's tough that early on.
Oh God. But at the same time, I am also convinced of the opposite, where I think that he just gets fixated on certain women, and they just happen to keep appearing in his memories over and over. Because if you think about it, there's at the ice cream place, right? There's the two girls that I think they were from the Oklahoma performance he was watching when he was cleaning the auditorium. I think they were both on stage. And then there's also the girl with a rash. That maybe she was the girl that was kind of mousy, that he said he knew these type of women that he could identify them, that she was walking by herself in the hallway, kind of like holding her arms or like to her chest, reading her books. It could have been her, I don't know, or that type of girl. But I feel like he resonates like with certain types of girls, and then he just constructs like these situations in his brain. Like if I had ever dated any of these women, and it seems to be like he just keeps adding more and more and more. So, I mean, maybe his regrets are that he was just never a different person and he always kind of stayed the same and was never, because I feel like, too, the thing is Lucy at one point was replaced by the actress from The Boys.
I was just going to say that there's a scene of him in like a break room watching the end of this really schmaltzy looking Robert Zemeckis movie, starring Victoria from The Boys.
Yes.
And then at one point they're kind of driving the car and Jessie Buckley out and out turns into that other actress for like a little bit. It's not remarked on. She doesn't say anything different than but she's just for about like 30 seconds. So she's just like that completely different actress.
And I think he was just like, man, she was cute. What if she was like, a real person? And I don't know. And that's what it feels like, a mishmash thing. But I also sympathize for this guy because I don't know about you guys, but I'm an introvert and I overly complicate my brain by seeing certain types of women that I'm attracted to that I don't do it now so much. But when I was younger, especially, I would see like, I'd see somebody I liked and I'm like, what do I do? Do I talk to them? Should I do something like, and I'd fret so much that I would do nothing.
Yeah.
And I'd walk away from it. And then all I would think about for like a week or 2 weeks or a month or whatever is like, fuck, like that was the one. I should have said something. I should have done something.
Buddy, I got bad news for you. You're the only male in history that's ever had that exact problem. Sorry, bud.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I'm also the only one that thought that about Victoria. No. Come on.
What's the line in that one episode of The Boys where she comes out in like the bondage gear and she's like, "You got to go up my clit like a jackhammer."
Oh.
She walked out so filthy, and I was just there like, I was
Johnny Zendaya.
So much of this movie and his other movies, I think, you know, speak to an intellectual sensibility, an introvert sensibility. I would hazard to even call this kind of like a New England kind of stuck in his own nerd head sensibility, because this guy actually went to and graduated from West Hartford High School, not too far from where Naveen and I kind of grew up.
It's a very New England thing.
One of us, absolutely one of us.
Yeah.
Did you guys at any point get a little bit irritated where Lucy was just like, "Oh, we got to get home tonight. We got to get home tonight." And he's like, I got change, but he's like, "No, you don't know. I got to get home tonight." And I'm there. I'm looking out the window. I'm like, "No, you have to stay in the fucking farmhouse. It is going to be like a double suicide if like the two of you go out." This is a problem with like dating women who didn't grow up like that.
Somebody who grew up on a farm.
I was really annoyed that he was not listening to her, honestly. Like, she made it so clear so many times that she had to be home for work the next day. And he was just like, it'll be fine. I've got chains for my tires. And she's like, you're completely missing the point. She doesn't want to be out until fucking 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to, struggling to get home.
Mm-hmm.
I just was annoyed that he was not listening to her. That really rubbed me the wrong way.
Right.
You're going to get a pat on the back from Hillary after this, by the way.
Because the thing about Andy, he believes women.
I believe women. But she doesn't listen to this show.
All I heard was like, nice.
Nice.
Well, that was the odd thing too, though, because the whole car ride to there, she's like trying to, I guess, negotiate with herself a little bit. Like, I shouldn't have things. He's great. He's so sweet and everything. But then, as soon as he got to the house, that kind of like
and she saw what he was like around his family. She saw what he was like around any kind of pressure. And you see, Clemens, I think, like both of the leads, I think, are extremely good in this film. But Clemens, you can kind of see when she kind of questions him, when she teases him, or she pushes him a little bit, he gets a bit of that Breaking Bad kind of neo-Nazi kind of like look kind of across his face. Flash very, very briefly, like the control of emotion and expression Clemens has in this, I think, is really, really something.
Oh, when he snaps at his mom, oh shit,
yeah,
that just shut up the whole room.
Yeah.
No, I agree that overall the acting, the actors, actresses were good picks and they did well for their roles. So they made it pretty believable. Kind of the way their memories were going and hearing was going, whichever part there, and just the arc of them was pretty neat.
All right, I got a question.
Yeah,
this was something that was bugging me. But watching this film, you see a lot of like different hints at what might be going on. After thinking about everything, do you think that there was anything that this movie did that maybe like diverged from like the main message that Charlie Kaufman was trying to tell here through like all his choices? Because there's one thing that stood out to me and I still can't explain it. And it's when Lucy's looking at the picture on the wall and she sees a picture of herself when she's younger. I believe it is.
Yeah, that's how it thought.
Then Jesse Plemons is like, no, take another look. You don't recognize who that is, and then it changes to him. But I'm just like, it's his. This is all his construction.
It's dream logic to a certain point, or it's dementia, or mind falling apart logic. I think in making a movie like this, I think the film does like a pretty good job in having somewhat clear analogs to kind of what's probably happening in real life, but it does give itself like the space to do like a bunch of random shit also.
Yeah, or I mean, like I brought up the swing set earlier. They never come back to that. They never really. You can kind of maybe try to figure out that was something from his childhood or something, I guess, and maybe at one time that was like people lived in that house and he played on that swing set, or he remembers when they first bought the swing set. But
it's the kind of thing where it's just like in a house that you're walking through in a dream. You're like, oh, this is mostly like the house that I grew up in, but I turn the corner and it's the hallway from my old dormitory. You know,
Yeah.
it could be just like the way that these things sort of kind of can sort of within your brain can happen out of order, like what's happening with like the family, or also just sort of mash up and kind of bleed into each other.
Or there was also the dad. He's like, you can stay the night. That's fine. You can sleep in Jake's old bed. It's pretty small. It's like a twin, but you can use it for fucking. And I'm like, yeah, I remember that time that I had a friend over and dad's like, hey, you know, you and your friend can use your old childhood bed for fucking if you want. That's cool.
The one part that I guess
girlfriend first time at the farm. It's never a cakewalk.
Fucking, please.
Yeah, the one
You say nah.
do what you gotta do. The one part that I guess kind of threw me off a little bit was just this huge buildup of the basement. You had the door, you had the whole thing of don't go down there, and she finally gets to go down there, and it's like, okay, you're doing laundry, yeah.
It's his uniform, his custodial uniform, but she has no idea what it means.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really explain why he's so terrified of that basement.
I think it's in what I've read, it's supposed to be a representation of what his life actually became, which I think it is kind of a interesting choice for a type of character to depict in a movie like that, because it's a type of character that is not usually centered, particularly like in kind of Western film. But this guy is single, elderly, by himself, not that smart, not that interesting. Kind of has like kind of like vague tinges of slightly kind of creepy attention to younger women, but not in any kind of way that's really just kind of crazy at all. He's just an old dude who's just kind of by himself, and I think like the decision to sort of just center a character like that with nothing to kind of tell about, but just the stories of his is just memories and how he kind of like arrived at that point. I thought it was a unique choice for this film.
All right, I got a question for Andy as well. Early artwork for this episode.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out what was going on there, and I really didn't want to bring it up with you because it seemed it might be a touchy subject. But it was a picture of the old man with like the pig in front of him, and it looked kind of like he was porky.
Andy texted the group chat, went on the group chat. He's like, "I'm thinking of drawing things."
I stand by my choice.
I'm a feminist, and I support this artwork.
Right.
I stand by my choice. I would still use that artwork. I do like the new one that I came up with artistically more, but I stand by, and I actually think that the way that I put that one together, and you realize now we're going to have to release it, but
no,
I want no association with this. By
Patreon.
The way,
I think
one of your guys paid YouTube accounts.
I think I really do think that it's representative of like the whole movie. That scene where it's like, the dead pig kind of doing the gallows walk with the old man behind him who's on his way to, killing himself.
They're kind of just dying, like not even being aware that he's dying of hypothermia.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's a thing too with hypothermia that I read about, that one of the potential I don't want to say side effects, but one of the things that can happen to someone while they are going through hypothermia is to have this intense need to take their clothes off. In
the final minutes, you get hit by this overwhelming kind of sense of heat, which is why the guy's depicted as kind of naked in his final moments.
You said you read about this?
Yeah.
You read about some really weird shit. I
read about it after this.
I want that to be recorded here, so I'm saying that just.
I don't. No.
That was a major plot point in that awful season of True Detective we both watched.
Yeah, it's probably buried in there somewhere. Right. All right. Talk about that hypothermia. It's getting hot here.
Did you guys notice when Jake was in his childhood bedroom and he was looking at his DVDs on the wall? There was a bunch of regular DVDs. He had like a full disc of The Thing, which I thought was cool. But some of the DVDs were titled like conversations I regret or people I don't talk to anymore. Like there's handwritten labels. Like on the
Really?
sides
I
of the-
didn't even notice.
I
He
didn't-
had. I didn't focus on the details in his room.
Yeah, I didn't either. I
That's,
didn't know
that's
Jake went
one
into
of
his room.
that's one of the problems I have with this movie and movies similar to it is they're constructed in such a way, and I do think it's premeditated on the part of a lot of the filmmakers. It's constructed in a way like you have to go back and watch this movie multiple times to pick up on all, kind of like what Eric was saying about the pop-up video thing with Lost, where like,
Yeah.
you know, you don't see any of that shit the first time through because you're just trying to take in the whole story. And then once you finish the story, and if you were to go back and watch it again, you'd pick up on all these clues throughout that would help to
and this is a thing that bugs you about some films. This is
Yeah,
a thing you don't.
because I don't think I'm a big believer in a film being a standalone, even a film that's a part of a series being a standalone story that could be consumed in one sitting, one time, and you should be able to get a lot of, or if not all of the story in that single consumption, if you will. I don't want to have to go back and be like, oh, that's what the fucking wallpaper meant. Like, who cares? Move on.
So you listen to a CD once and you're like, yeah, done, out the window.
It's been known to happen.
Fuck you, Soundgarden.
It's been known to happen.
I'm a busy man.
No, it's not. I don't view music the same way, but I do view, in a lot of ways, I do view movies that way.
In fairness to Andy's point, more films do that than films that have necessarily earned that. A film like something like kind of Kubrick, like a film like just 2001 or The Shining, absolutely earns and deserves that scrutiny. Sort of kind of going back multiple times and sort of seeing the different ways that they kind of painted it painted in the corners. But a lot of a lot of films like this being a movie that I really like, this being a film I'd be willing to kind of do this with, but there is a bit of pretension in a director putting something together and saying, I'm going to make this in a way that you got to watch it kind of twice really to get that. It can be a very, very big swing sometimes.
For every The Shining, there's like 10 Sixth Senses or that kind of thing, where it's like, oh God, okay, like yeah, he couldn't have been more obvious that character, that the what's his name, fucking Die Hard,
Bruce Willis.
I totally blanked on it. It couldn't be more obvious upon second watching that Bruce Willis is dead throughout the entire movie.
What?
I know. Sorry, spoiler alert. 30 years in the future.
Naveen, cut that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't commit to that spoiler.
Yeah.
You're right. My bad. But yeah, I don't know. You're right. It just, there are some movies where it doesn't feel earned. To me, this one kind of didn't feel earned.
Interesting.
Really? Huh.
Well, I think part of it was that I feel like the movie was overlong. They added up all the time that the two characters spent in the car.
It did end
20 minutes.
4 different times. It was almost like kind of Return of the King bad. Like, I
was convinced the whole movie was just them in the car talking, and I was ready to turn it off.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
In total that they spent. It's like 20 minutes in the beginning, or like 19 minutes in the beginning and like 21 minutes at the end or something like that. And it's just, I don't know. To me, that's just, it was slow. I had this working theory throughout, well, not the whole movie, but throughout at least like a good chunk of the first part of it, that it was all one character. So I was right about that. But I was interpreting it as it was one character with schizophrenia, multiple personality disorder, who was basically having all of these conversations in their head, which again is sort of what was happening, but I wasn't viewing it as a looking back.
You style it more as a Tyler Durden thing than
yes. Yeah, to me, it was just like a person with a mental illness. I thought the movie was going to end up being some kind of commentary on mental illness. I did not realize that it was going to be a commentary on you know,
kind of death and dying, and like
and how life is
stuff kind of
just
slips through your fingers.
unceasing until it ceases, kind of a thing. I don't know. That was my take.
God. Now you just reminded me of when the dad was talking to Lucy at one point, and this is when he was really old, and then he's just like, you forget things because of, and she's like, you had dementia, Alzheimer's.
Yeah, he was like, dementia or Alzheimer's or Louis' body dysmorphia.
Louis' body's disorder, yeah. And he's just like, yeah, maybe that one.
I mean, the movie out and out states what's happening a couple of different times. The first 10 minutes, I think Lucy actually says, she tells to Jake, the world is larger than the inside of your own head, which, kind of like, there you go, like right off the bat.
But again, it's right there. He spells it out. The world is, but like, if you haven't picked up on what's happening throughout the movie, that's one of those things that you drop in, and then in hindsight, you go, oh, he just told me exactly what was happening right there in that line in the movie. I don't know. It's just, it all felt very pretentious and like college student, senior project to me a little bit.
All right, I got to say this because I was curious about the book that this was based off of, and the book was described on an Amazon review as having an ending as suspenseful as The Usual Suspects or as haunting as Misery.
Bullshit.
And the book was supposed to be like a thriller.
And then you flip to the last page, and it's like Oklahoma.
Yeah, I know. I have a confession to make, by the way. I didn't watch the ending. I turned it off after, like, you kind of, like, she's talking with him as a janitor in the hall. I'm like, okay, we're done. I fast forwarded. I saw, like, the pig. I'm like, okay, the pig's leading him. He's dying. There's some ballet dancers. Some guys wrestling with a janitor. It was much for me. It was too much. And then they show Jesse Clemens
4 times.
It did. I mean, I was satisfied where I stopped. I think this could have been a solid hour and a half, and that would have been enough for me. But then they're like, no, let's get ice cream. I'm like, fuck you. End the movie. Fuck you.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I can safely say that I don't like movies that make me feel dumb or sad. And this made me feel both.
I felt old.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I always feel old. That's just like par for the course. But
yeah,
I don't know.
It's interesting. Clemens was like the best part of.
He was great in this film.
Yeah.
I don't seek his movies, but him in this role, that was a solid choice. Also, that other actress.
Every single thing I've seen him in. But what's wild is like Clemens was the best character in the second season of Fargo. David Thewlis was the best character in the third season of Fargo. He played kind of like this sort of Cockney crime boss that sort of comes in and starts fucking with like these twin characters played by Ewan McGregor. And Jessie Buckley was actually like the best character in the fourth season of Fargo, where she plays a Scandinavian serial killer nurse named Orietta Mayflower that at one point hooks up with Jason Schwartzman, who's playing like a low-level mob boss. Yeah. So it was just very, very interesting kind of seeing like all those characters together. Like
I was going to say, yeah, who's doing this, the Fargo series?
It was originally Noah Hawley, who was like a pretty accomplished like TV writer. He did Legion prior to this. He's doing Alien Earth right now. But I read, personally, I'm one of the biggest kind of Coen Brothers fans, and I read that they were doing Fargo TV show. I'm like, there's no possible way that'll actually work. And it's in its 5th season so far, and like every single one has been great.
That's crazy that so many the actors are in this movie.
Right. Any kind of case, do you guys have any Vigo's toes or any sort of closing thoughts on this film before we get to sorbet?
I do, and this might be everybody else's as well if they looked in the same places that I did. But I found it interesting that the list of women, of actresses that were considered for that Lucy character prior to, I forget what her
Jessie Buckley.
Yeah, prior to her being cast. So originally it was supposed to be Brie Larson. She was actually officially cast in that role, and then had to back out because she had to focus on Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame.
Ah, okay.
But also Kristen Stewart and Anne Hathaway as well.
Sure.
I don't think so. I could see Brie Larson. That one kind of tracks for me. Kristen Stewart and Anne Hathaway, I think, would have been a total
to do Brie Larson and Jessica Buckley. You can kind of see one of them pity dating this guy for like a couple months. You're talking like like an Anne Hathaway type. Just no possibility.
No, absolutely not. So that was mine. That was my Vigos.
Right.
I've got nothing.
Yeah.
Jessie Buckley's Irish.
Like a crazy accomplished Irish actress. She's done two things. I was at the movies yesterday. There was a trailer for her in she's starring in a Bride of Frankenstein remake directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yes. Maggie Gyllenhaal is directing it, and of course Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be in it.
Jessie Buckley is the bride, and
Christian Bale as Frankenstein.
Bale in like a shitload of weird-looking makeup as Frankenstein.
Yeah, that caught my eye. That looks interesting. I don't know if I'll pay money to see it.
Movie?
What's up?
Do we need another Frankenstein movie?
This is the Christ. This is at least the second one this year. I think we might be getting a third pretty soon. I
mean, how many have we had in the last 10 years? I would love to know.
Right. How many have we had since Frankenhooker?
Yeah, Jesus, 50.
Yeah.
None is good.
None is good. Right.
Yeah.
It's like how they kept on trying to make shark movies after Jaws, and you're so it's like how many so like this the new one comes out, you're like how many good shark movies now? Is it still just the one?
Yeah, I think the closest they got with was it Meg? The Meg.
Yeah.
A lot of people like, and then they made a sequel, and everybody's like, no, one was enough.
It was just called Damn It, Meg. The only thing I remember about seeing Meg is I went to a theater in Tokyo, and they gave me seat H20, and when they print the ticket out, I'm like, hey, H2O. That's kind of fun.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. So let's wind down the movie there. An interesting choice. Didn't really land for everybody, but appreciate you guys. I kind of just rolling the dice and just trying to stick this one out kind of as best you could. Should we have done Scrubs?
I'm glad we watched it.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we watched it as well. I thought it was a good watch and getting out there, but yeah, I guess maybe this day and age for my mind and brain power and things, it's not as much up my alley anymore.
Got it. Yeah.
But to John's point, do you think Scrubs would have been a better pick instead of this?
I watched that one already, and it was all right.
The comment you guys had was like 3 of the 6 segments are really good. The other 3 are kind of
right.
Yeah.
So I think this was better because it was something I hadn't seen. So I enjoyed watching something I hadn't seen, and the other part is just I think it was kind of good to do something like this because a lot of our stuff is just on the.
If we're just doing popcorn and sliders every week, it's going to like the show is going to be like,
right. Yeah.
Come on, sliders.
Sliders.
So I think it was a good choice.
Well, let's go on to the sorbet. We decided, we bounced a couple ideas around, but we sort of landed on, because this movie itself had a theme of just regretting the opportunities missed, the connections that could have been made, the lives that could have been lived. We thought it would be interesting to spend like a little time, instead of just thinking about what fell apart, what we missed, what didn't happen with our lives, instead kind of like giving a little bit of time to things that we appreciate we don't have to deal with our youth anymore. So this week's sorbet is called Thank Fuck That's Over. Can we get like a guitar sting, or like what would even be like a good sort of musical sort of cue for Thank Fuck That's Over?
Oh, I have no idea. Thank Fuck That's Over would be a good.
We'll come up with something.
All right. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But Thank Fuck It's Over.
All of our listeners will know what it sounds like before we currently do.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello,
Like,
the future.
Here.
Yes.
Yeah. We're talking about this movie that fucks with time and space and continuity. There you go, listeners.
Boy.
I'll share it in the group chat later, but the latest episode of Blank Check did the funniest thing of like they're kind of talking and riffing, and then they kept on going with their producer, and they're like, okay, you got to put in a 20-second punk rock song about Stephen Root, about how good Stephen Root is, and then and he's like, okay, done. And the actual punk rock song plays, and then they're having conversation again, and they're in the past not hearing the song but pretending they heard it, and it was awesome. Like, man, that was so good, that was so good. And they're talking for like not a few minutes, but like they go to the producer, like, Ben, you got to put an even more kick-ass punk rock song about Stephen Root. And at this point, and he does another 20 seconds, and it just keeps going and going. Such a better show than ours. Thank fuck it's over. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. So I guess I would be lying to say that this is like technically over, because I can't say that 100% of the time I don't give a shit about what people think about me. I don't know that anybody really feels that way, but I am so much less concerned about what people think about me now than I was in my youth. I find that I've gotten a lot more comfortable in my own skin the older I've gotten.
Must be nice.
It is nice. I gotta tell you, Johnny, I highly recommend it. I also am pretty glad that I don't have to deal with acne anymore.
Yes.
So there's my deep thought for the day.
Nice.
Papa?
Me? It's weird because the nostalgia lens, there are things that I loved about being in high school. There are also things I loved about being in college. But all the work that I had to put in to like graduate from high school, for example, and all the bullshit I had to put up with like freshman year all the way into maybe like junior year when I actually like had a real core group of friends and like, you know, I noticed girls more and was dating and I could drive and all that cool stuff while Andy was going through hell. But it's like, if I could, I mean, thank fucking God that it's done, because it was so much drama and bullshit that I didn't need in my life that once you hit college, especially, you're like nothing, it doesn't make, like all of that is just fucking nonsense. Like you realize that it's like you wake up and you're like, everybody's in the same playing field now. We're not like in these different like groups. Like we're not like part of like different clubs and shit like that.
It's particularly difficult when you're graduating with a bunch of people that you get started with. Like staying in one town, being kind of like out of the 12 people in my kindergarten class, I probably graduated with 9 of them. Just having that continuity and just having you all locked together like in the same building.
I fucking hated that. All the kids from kindergarten, I'd still see them again, and I'm like, I hated you then, I hate you now.
Right.
Nice.
You guys are cool though.
Oh, good.
Fuck you. You're cool. I'm out of here. Who's coming with me?
Well, I didn't know you when you were in kindergarten, so it works out.
That's true. It probably worked out for the best.
Man. Excuse me. Sorry. I was going to say something similar to what you had, Eric. Adulting sucks. Yeah, it's not the greatest, not as fun and things, but having that work up to it, like in college, and figuring out and, telling people like, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that. Oh, I don't know, having that kind of knowing what you'll be doing in adulthood a little bit. Thank God that's over.
Insane amount of pressure to put on an 18-year-old to pick a major and use that as a springboard for what you're going to do for the rest of your adult life. You're asked as a guy to do that at 18 when your brain as a guy doesn't finish growing together until you're like 25. It's just completely lunatic.
Right. And I don't know if it's as big now. It doesn't seem like it since I'm in the education system. But I think when we were growing up, it was like, nope, college is your only choice. College is your only choice. College is your only choice. But there are other options. You don't have to go straight to college. You can go later, or you don't have to go at all. So that thank God that's over.
I was gonna say that building off of that, that was one thing that blew my mind with like first job out of college. I'm like, I've got a college degree and I'm working with people that, you know, just barely passed high school.
Mhm.
That was just crazy to me because that expectation, like I'm doing all this extra work and paying all this extra fucking money and it's all going to work in my favor. I'm going to get like a tit job and make a bunch of money and buy a house and car and stuff like that. And no, it doesn't work that way. It's like starting from the bottom, which is fucking terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's way hard.
Real quick, I'm going to get a tit job.
It's even harder now than
Nice.
it was then too. Like,
Nice.
nice.
I thought it was easier to get a tit job now.
It's easier.
Oh!
I know. I got to pay for tit jobs. It's awful. Not on myself, but to never mind.
Yes, innuendo.
Go ahead, Andy. You were
No. That's it. I think it's a lot harder for people coming out of school now, even than it was for us. And it was hard for, at least I'll speak for myself. When I came out of college, trying to find, you know, a good, decent paying job with benefits and, you know, a future and all that, like it was hard. It's so much harder now. I do not envy, you know.
CNN about a month or so ago had a big article about how newly graduated computer science majors are basically finding it impossible sort of breaking into the workforce. Computer fucking science.
Listen, somebody's got to drive for Uber Eats.
Oh. Not for that much longer.
Not
that much longer when they figure out drones and Waymo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Let me kind of springboard off of like what I think all three of you guys are saying, but like a thank fuck that's over thing for me. There's areas, quite a few of them personally, because you know just high school and even kind of chunks of college were not like really like a pick kind of like a cakewalk for me. But thank fuck it's over. I think specifically about my student loans. That is the thing that I spent 2002 when I graduated. You know, computer science again was having kind of a rough few years. It is cyclical like any other industry. I kind of struggled to find decently kind of paying employment at that point. So I kind of thought, let me do like a couple years of grad school, and then you have the option to kind of defer your student loans for kind of pretty much any kind of reason at that point. That though does not mean when you defer student loans, you do not defer the interest that is accumulating on like those loans over kind of what kind of period. The thing that radicalized me is kind of finally come out of grad school at 26, getting a pretty good, really kind of well-paying job, like the tit job you're supposed to get after and just after like a lot of kind of schooling like that, and just realizing how utterly fucked my finances were. Learning for the first time, I went on like my first couple years out of grad school, I went on a real kind of personal finance kick of just sort of learning about how 401ks and loans and interest and investments and compound interest and like just all the rest of that shit kind of worked. And I got very, very fixated on this idea that somehow I had been cheated, somehow I've been duped, or somehow I at least did not get all the information I really should have gotten to make an even kind of semi-rational decision about that kind of thing. Back at least when I finished grad school, you could, I was told, don't worry about your student loans, you can defer them from your taxes. I come to find out after finishing my kind of run of grad school, having 6 years worth of kind of college I had to pay back loans for, that not only is the tax deduction you can get only for the interest portion of your student loans, not any of the principal you're paying down, but there was basically a phase out depending on like the salary you made in a particular year for what percentage of your student loan interest you could actually deduct. I was making a pretty good salary for my first job outside of grad school, but that salary was $5,000 over that actual amount where you could kind of take anything off your taxes. It fucked me up in like a lot of ways because I had the you know, just 6 years of engineering college, really kind of working hard, trying to bust my ass, trying to kind of just make the absolute sort of best of just kind of, you know, just difficult, it's just long hours and extremely challenging kind of just classwork and like a lot of a lot of tedium. Like I was also like a creative person. I wanted to have a chance to be creative, and just kind of forcing myself through this very uncreative thing for just like the responsibility of actually having a job, and then kind of getting out of that and seeing how miscommunicated this stuff was, and seeing how kind of fucked like the surrounding system. There's just I felt like I've been exploited and kind of ripped off like this entire time. I graduated. I finished grad school October 2006. I paid off my student loans as fast as possible. Finally wrapping up August 2010, and that's until I kind of got to that point. I was just like, I'm not going to be able to just not be fucked up by this until I just get like every like last time this kind of paid off. So
That was probably about the same time that I paid off my loans too.
yeah.
Wow, you guys are quick.
Like 30. I
Mhm.
think it was 30 maybe. And that's the whole thing that fucks you up, because you're like, I want to pay off any debt I have immediately, because I don't want that to like weigh down on me, and I don't want to pay like, interest and all that stuff. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, also I need to put money towards like 401k, because I have to start saving for when I retire.
Yeah.
And it's such like, it's so far away. You're like, you think about it at that point, you're like in your mid 20s and you're like, I have to work for like another 40 years. Why do I need to start saving money now? I'm struggling barely paying for like an apartment and, a car loan and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, it's a really daunting task. And I mean, I think it wasn't until my 30s, like you start, like things start to finally click and you're like,
Right.
okay, maybe I can survive. Like
I
maybe
think I didn't even have that dramatic an amount of student loans, but between some credit card debt, and kind of not even getting like a super fancy car, but like something like a little more than I kind of needed at the time. I think my net worth was negative until around my 30th birthday. It didn't flock over just because. But again, that was kind of coming out of school, learning all this stuff. I had grown-ups. I had people that should have known better telling me, "Oh, you're young, so instead of kind of paying your student loans down, you should just be throwing more money at your 401k. You should be throwing more money at your investments, the stock market, whatever else." Which you can very easily argue against like the principle. You can also very easily argue against the math of the thing, because like my rate on the student loans that I had was something around like 7%, which is that is a,
dear God,
show me any investment in the 21st century that will 100% give you 7% or more just within like a year-long window, So that's the thing. Fuck, it's over thing. Do you guys kind of want to go through kind of one more time and do something like a little bit more kind of positive and upbeat? How
What do you
about
think? Are you going to kick it off? You kick it off. One thing I'm thankful for, or silver lining, or
yeah.
Silver lining.
I go in for John. Yeah, I go in for John. He's like, I can finally
I'm
not feel bad, go out and purchase a PS5 new, because there's.
I'm a
so
little
many
reluctant on spending $25 for like
games
a box to ship my guitar, but
look, did you?
you
play
know
Spider-Man
what?
2?
Fuck it, how about that? I could buy a new video game system now with my own money, and it wouldn't even be a thing.
You know what? That's a step up from just buying board games. So
Just buying board games. Well, I've spent a lot more money on my board games these last few years, my friend.
I know it's great when friends visit, but they collect dust.
Yes, just dagger right in my heart.
I'm just telling you what my board games have been doing.
Okay. So is that why we dressed identical today? Just kind of in solidarity.
I'm wearing a Goosebumps shirt, so
I'm wearing a Dan shirt.
Dan.
All right.
I'm wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
That's
I'm not wearing anything.
Andy's as naked
Except
as
the
the
pig.
janitor at the end of the film.
Andy's not just naked; he's like hypothermia naked.
That's
How's
right.
that pig staying in your lap so calmly?
Right.
Uh,
But I was like, silver lining, like just sort of thinking about like, any just about anything I would want to kind of do for fun. I have the option of kind of doing that, like at any point. That's been, I remember kind of like around the same time as kind of paying off my student loans. The woman I was dating at the time and we went down to Florida for a week and did like a full-on fucking Disney World and kind of Universal Studios thing. That's what the sort of extra money we had kind of lying around just from kind of digging my way like out of like a mountain, that stuff. So just having the not that I would want to kind of be constantly kind of throwing money at just kind of toys like that on a regular basis, but the knowledge of kind of like I could go out and more or less any kind of toy that I would want to kind of pick up and take home, that would be an option for me if I could. So I guess
You could just say it, sex toys.
Sex toys.
You're just talking about fleshlights and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Really,
Any model.
Mm-hmm.
No, price means nothing.
There is a whole warehouse district.
There's a hole. There's a lot of holes.
Just sex toy shops, like just right and kind of just
giant warehouse full of holes to plug.
Like right around, right around like Industrial Boulevard. I don't know.
Imagine that. They just have a warehouse for you. You just walk in. You're like, money means nothing. Show me your holes. I'll take all of them.
I've got a golden ticket.
Show me that river of chocolate.
Let me in. I'm starving.
These little people come out with those.
I would like to make a note that this was meant to be silver lining. Just throwing it out.
The silver lining is that
we're all laughing.
Yeah.
We're all laughing, having a good time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're legal.
Silver lining, I can
legal.
still make my friends laugh.
Yep.
With dildo jokes specifically. Or another silver lining. We were talking about like a little bit about how like you grow out of some things, and it's kind of very, very rare that other things you loved as a kid hit you equally as an adult. Silver lining for me, I laughed so fucking hard at those old Simpsons episodes that we watched for like the podcast like last week. Still hit me in the exact same way. Still delighted.
Yeah.
Still entertained,
Still good.
impressed by like the smarts.
Yeah.
Still good. Still good.
Still good. Still good.
They're funny. They're funny. Still good.
Naveen, silver lining over to you, good buddy. What do you got?
I was gonna say something similar with that, like the travel. For years, it was just a lot of road trips. So it was car traveling, which I loved and was great, and I don't, regret any of that or anything. But now it's getting
You had
into
the chains at least, right?
what's that?
You had the chains at least, right?
They were in the bed. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was again great travel stories and everything, but now it's gotten a little better where it's okay. I can travel a little further, and gotta catch a flight to do something like that, and check out other places and countries and whatnot.
Big world. Yeah.
Yeah.
My third passport just showed up in the mail.
Third.
Oh, you mean like because you filled up the other ones?
I filled up the first one. I was going to fill up the second one, but then COVID happened. Definitely going to.
So so now you've got an American, a Russian, and a South Korean.
Papua New Guinea.
Oh, nice.
I may
Nice.
really need to hide out, like especially with someone that
New Guinea.
Good.
Eric's like, I love it when Johnny makes up words.
Johnny likes words. I like guinea pigs too.
Andy, silver linings.
Oh boy, man, I'm the wrong guy to ask about silver lining.
He's comfortable in his own skin. That's enough, Johnny.
Right.
Yeah, I thought I already did silver linings.
Do the sappy one. Do the sappy one.
Well, no, I guess
Do the obvious one.
Right.
Go
what?
for it. Do the obvious one. The
You
obvious
have a
one.
wife that loves that you believe women.
She's
My
listening.
wife?
She's listening.
Thank you.
I've
A
got a
wife that
beautiful
doesn't
wife
understand
and
why Jimmy
wonderful
Olsen is
kids.
the good-looking one.
And you live like what, a half a mile away from a Buffalo Wild Wings?
Not even
Come
that. far.
on.
No,
Come on.
I'll tell you what
Oh,
it is. I'll give you a real answer to this, and it is a little bit of what you said. So, and it's actually a little bit of what Johnny said about himself as well. So, like the fact that I'm an adult with some level of success and a decent income, and very fortunate with all of that stuff. I do have the ability to do some things with my time, with my money that I never would have expected to be able to do when I was younger, number one. But number two, more importantly, being that kid who, back in high school couldn't get a date or even a second look from a woman, the entirety of my schooling, to now have a wife who supports me and is like supportive of me when I decide to make these decisions to do things that maybe aren't the most financially smart or whatever, like buying a guitar store, and the fact that she's behind me and goes like, go for it, just do it. It's pretty damn cool.
It's not my wife.
I know. I've got a unicorn. I've got a unicorn for sure. So that's pretty cool.
Papa, going to you?
I'm gonna go with the other obvious one.
Oh.
I get to do a podcast with 3 wonderful people. And we get to tell jokes about dildos.
You've got another podcast?
Yeah, I actually started another podcast. It's all about sex toys.
He's referring to our 2-man podcast, Cunny of the Goose, which we each do with a mouse in our pockets.
It's not. I thought the Goose was one of the third.
Yeah,
one of the new guys.
Yeah, I don't. I'm bird blind, so I mean, I can't tell if it's a goose or it's like a
new Peacemaker tonight. Shit.
Yeah, it is.
You guys been watching Peacemaker yet?
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Tim Meadows fucking sings every single scene that he has. Is the funniest stuff that he's done his entire career.
I missed that. What'd you say?
I really should watch this show. I really should watch this show.
Did you watch
You should watch Peacemaker.
Yeah.
You should watch Peacemaker.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
You haven't seen season 1?
I haven't watched 1 second of that show.
Right.
It's great because if you've seen Superman, you've seen Suicide Squad.
Yes.
And you just watched
Suicide Squad.
I saw the first Suicide Squad, not the second.
Yeah.
The second one, the first is trash. The second one might have been my favorite movie that year. That's coming out of
Wow.
But the second one is the one that has Peacemaker in it. So
yes.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. So if you've seen those, I mean, and then you just watch the recap of season 1, you could jump right into season 2, or you could watch both seasons. I don't think either one is longer than 10 episodes. So
yeah.
Okay.
They all dance at the beginning of the show. That dance is always
it's so good.
Yeah.
The music, the choices that James Gunn makes for everything he does, just
you should watch both seasons. Don't skip over season 1.
Yeah.
I take back all my silver lining stuff. I'm just glad that shows like Peacemaker on the air right now.
That's the best one. Okay, fuck the podcast. The fact we have all this amazing TV to watch. Yeah. We have The Boys. We've got Peacemaker. New season of Daredevil. I haven't watched yet, but I've heard amazing things about.
Dan to Dan has like a literally like a visual K heavy metal show episode.
Oh yeah,
it's
great. I saw even Game of Thrones. I remember when that came out, and I'm like, this trumps like all the TV that I had watched like in my early 20s. Like this, people die and they stay dead.
Yeah,
you get scared every episode.
It is so.
What the fuck's gonna happen?
Yeah, I
mean, it went the way of Lost with the last season, but I mean, nothing's perfect.
Yeah, you know what? So just forget travel, forget companionship, forget like it is just a creative with friends, or if you forget financial success. TV is fucking excellent these days in 2025. There's no argument about it.
Yeah.
Should we end the podcast there?
Podcasts are good too.
Yeah. So TV doesn't rot your brains, kids. Keep watching TV.
Right. Don't watch any TV, but once you kind of hit 40, it's just. I mean, it's over for us, right? This podcast is just like a shared hallucination of a guy dying in a truck in the snow.
It's just cognitive decline from here on out.
Yeah.
They're like, I should have talked with my friends from college again to see what they're doing. Maybe data podcast.
So are you trying to say something? Have you heard from Max?
No. Look, one of my college friends is here, at least. But these other 2 who I feel like are like college friends to me.
Right.
Aww.
So, we watched Orgasmo together.
We did. I've taken one journey from Akira all the way through the JoJo Siwa, so you're welcome.
Right.
Yep.
You're part of the family now.
Still haunts me.
And buddy, if it makes you sort of feel better, I kind of took the bullet this cycle, so we've all had our moments.
Yeah.
I stand behind Akira, by the way, so fuck you guys.
Yeah, same.
I stand behind Opportunity Knocks.
Really? Really?
Oh wait, you're gonna mute now.
That's the hill you're gonna die on.
I'm surprised I'll be dying on a hill.
Right.
I mean, that's how I learned Japanese was from that movie. So.
Exactly. I meant the Opportunity Knocks episode. I didn't mean the actual movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Olte arai doko desu ka is a very, very useful phrase to have in your back pocket. Right. Episode 70, preceded by episode 69. Nice. Thank you. Beautifully done, gentlemen. Rebels with a Pod, we're going to be wrapping up our top of the queue cycle next week with a watch I am very, very excited about personally. I think we have some conversations still in play for like a special guest joining.
Yeah, I'll definitely double check. But my other brother,
your other brother by the same mother,
yeah, who is real for everybody else except for probably Eric.
Yeah, you don't have many brothers.
Yeah.
I've only seen like you, but I can't imagine you actually having more than just you.
Nah.
Right.
You said you had like a twin brother, but I mean, I don't know who or what you're talking about. So
it's tough. I mean, we do look alike, so
so much alike.
So much alike.
So we could just keep swapping out brothers.
Right.
That's cool. I'm down with that.
We're triplets now.
At one point, Naveen's brother is just Victoria from The Boys.
Yeah.
It's only 30 seconds, completely
He
unexplained.
just had a diner and he's just like, "You're not meant for this. I love you." Hey,
Did you say you love me?
Are you Naveen or are you Naveen's brother? You're Naveen. Okay, then that's fine.
Jordan Peele's Get Out, which this pick was this Naveen. This was your pick.
This is
correct?
mine. Yeah, this is mine. So it's been on my queue. I've heard lots of great things about it. Just haven't seen it.
Yeah, definitely no complicated or uncomfortable subjects we can kind of get into after the watch and during the discussion of that movie.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's even more interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the movie.
And so just supposing the 5 guests that are going to be on, the 5 hosts that will be on next week, Andy, the only one of us not in an interracial relationship. Am I doing the math there correct?
Oh, hot take.
Hot take.
Yeah.
Woo.
Dang.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Be
interesting.
careful of those white women.
Ugh.
I think that was the actual literal title in Korean.
Oh my God! All the
Ladies
nice
and gentlemen, a
things he
little
said
taste
about his wife and
of what this one goes.
Actually, you know what? The subtitle for next week's episode could actually be "Got to be careful of those white women."
Got to be careful of those white women.
Spoiler alert.
Naveen, would this be uncomfortable to announce that we released the Together episode, or I'll bring it up the next time.
No, but all right.
Okay. You're a more patient fellow than most.
get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
Episode 69, nice. Episode 70, Rebels Without a Pod. Gentlemen, pleasure as always. Talk to everybody soon.
Definitely. Take it easy.
Nice.
Bye.